The Harivamśa Purana, Chapter 4, The Birth of the Lord. Having dreamt of the celestial sage Narada, the couple decided to break the vow of celibacy, and once more children were born, and, to their unbearable pain, the children were dashed against the boulder to be killed. Soon the seventh child was conceived, and within months of the conception, the great god Mahavishnu, using his power of illusion, transported the baby from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Rohini was the first wife of King Vasudeva in a previous marriage. That night, Rohini had a dream in which the goddess Mahalakshmi appeared and said, "Dear wife of Vasudeva, by the might and prowess of the great god Mahavishnu, he has commanded you to be the mother of Balarama. This child growing in your womb will be the incarnation of the 1,000-headed serpent named Sesha, and he will perform great feats of achievements," she said, and she disappeared. After the deed was done, Devaki had a miscarriage, which then caused the cruel King Kamsa to think that the seventh child had died as a stillborn. As soon as he heard this, he was overjoyed, for he had no need to kill another child. He then waited patiently for news about the eighth child. Sure enough, in time, Devaki was conceived once more, and as soon as he heard the news, he clapped both Devaki and Vasudeva in irons and flung them to the dungeons. He did not wish to take any chances. He placed over 100 guards, ogres, and servants to guard the gate of the prison. One night, both Vasudeva and Devaki were sleeping. They both dreamt a deep, thundering voice. "O son of Shurasena, time is nearing for my birth," it said. Both Devaki and Vasudeva were petrified as they saw the mighty Mahavishnu in all his glory. With his forearms, sky-blue skin draped in a golden garment, they both folded their palms and bowed low. "Listen to me very carefully, son of Shurasena," said Mahavishnu. And on saying so, Vasudeva began to listen intently. "I will be born at midnight on the 8th day of the new moon in the month of Shravana under the celestial star sign of Rohini," said the Lord. "As soon as I am born, carry me to the village of Gokula, across the river Yamuna. In Gokula, the chief of the village will give birth to a baby girl. Replace the girl with me and bring the girl with you. Through my mystical prowess, I have already placed my elder brother in your first wife's womb," said the god Mahavishnu. And both Vasudeva and Devaki nodded humbly. They were immediately awoken. The 8th night of the new moon, under the month of Shravana, finally arrived. Thunder and lightning filled the skies. A terrific thunderstorm began pouring. Over 100 guards were patiently guarding the gates of Vasudeva's prison. Vasudeva was worried. He was clapped in iron chains. The doors to his cell were locked. How on earth could he complete the mission of the great god Mahavishnu? Anxiety overcame him. As soon as midnight approached, however, a miracle happened. His jail cell flung open. The iron chains unlocked by themselves. The handcuffs unlocked. Auspicious winds blew in every direction. Birds, insects, small rodents, doves, all came to witness the birth of the great god Mahavishnu. Great ascetics, sages, seers, and celestial beings appeared into the jail cell with the use of their mystical yogic powers. The celestial nymphs began chanting holy hymns in union with bards and sages as Devaki, without any pain of labor, gave birth to the God incarnate. As soon as the baby was born, flowers, jewels, gold and other exotic ornaments were poured from the heavens. The newborn baby looked like the resplendent sun with extravagant beauty. His smile captivated all the celestials who cried tears of joy. The baby boy was dark bluish in color, and the four-armed Mahavishnu was hovering above it with his right arm outstretched, blessing the parents Vasudeva and Devaki, and his form was slowly merging into the baby. Vasudeva bowed low and said, "O beautiful God of all beings, please withdraw from this form, lest the cruel Kamsa or his minions were to see you," with his palms perfectly folded. Mahavishnu sported a small smirk on his face and nodded. Slowly, the bluish hue whirled into the baby. The sages, celestials, and all the animals who had come to witness the birth of the Lord had disappeared, and now only Vasudeva, Devaki, and a curious yet very cute baby were present in the horrid jail cell. Much to Vasudeva's surprise, all the guards had fallen into deep slumber. Vasudeva wrapped the baby in cloth and quickly hurried out of the dungeons. As he left the dungeons, he saw a wicker basket with some fruits in it. He hid the God incarnate child in between the fruits and began the hour-long trek to the village of Gokula amidst the torrential rain. The rain flooded everything. Even Vasudeva was drenched in rainwater, but he did not waver, for he knew his mission was to deliver the child to the arms of the chieftain of Gokula. And soon he was waist deep in rainwater. This made the trek even more difficult, but he persisted on, carrying the blue-hued child on top of his head. As he moved, unbeknownst to him, a large snake with 5 heads followed him, and it covered the wicker basket with its 5 heads, effectively protecting the basket from getting wet. Vasudeva finally reached the village of Gokula, and sure enough, a baby girl was just born to the chieftain of Gokula. Slowly and very quietly, he replaced the baby boy in the wicker basket with the baby girl sleeping on the side of the chieftain's wife. He gently placed the girl into the wicker basket and began the hour-long trek back into the dungeons. Just as he was about to leave, Nanda, the chieftain of the Gokula village, caught him. "Vasudeva, what are you doing here? You are locked in the dungeons of Mathura by Kamsa. Do you know what will happen if anyone finds out? He will slaughter all of us." Nanda whispered loudly, and then Vasudeva narrated all that happened, from the voice in the sky to the death of all his 6 children, his abstinence from intimacy, and the vision of the great god Mahavishnu, along with his plan. He paused and mentioned, "I know that Rohini, my first wife, has given birth to a boy. He is the elder brother of the child I have just replaced," said Vasudeva. "Take good care of them and raise them like your own," continued Vasudeva. Nanda fervently nodded, stunned with everything Vasudeva told him. He then took the baby girl and braved the trip back to the dungeons. Bearing the torrential rain, the flooded Yamuna river, and the bruises on his feet due to the dents in the walking path, Vasudeva finally made it back to the dungeons and placed the sleeping baby girl next to his wife, Devaki, and placed the handcuffs back onto his hands. The second he placed the handcuffs, they locked in place and the jail cells all locked like they were before. The slumbering guards woke to the cries of a baby girl. They fled on foot to their leader Kamsa and informed Kamsa of the birth of the 8th child. Kamsa was both nervous and excited at the thought of obtaining immortality. After all, if he slaughters the 8th child, then by default he would have overcome death. He approached the jail cell of Vasudeva. "Where is he? Where is my executioner?" Kamsa bellowed. My lord, it's a little girl, not even a boy. My lord, this child poses no threat. It is a girl, reasoned Vasudeva. He ignored Vasudeva and grabbed the baby girl by the ankle and spun her with his arm and attempted to dash her against the boulder, but another miracle happened. The second the girl was flung from Kamsa's arm, she flew into the sky and formed the goddess Durga. "You horrible monster! Slaughtering a baby is the worst of all sin, but to murder a baby girl requires the vilest of minds. Your executioner is born. By the might of the great god Mahavishnu, he is transported to the village of Gokula. He will slaughter you. Of this you can be certain," cursed the goddess as she flew into the night sky. Kamsa was rooted in terror. He had seen the goddess Durga in all her glory, wielding the sword and draped in red. Kamsa's blood was frozen in fear. His death was now even more certain. The vision of the goddess Durga created a pang of guilt in his stomach. He freed Vasudeva and Devaki and sent them to their home. Wow! I just heard the birth of the God incarnate. The Lord himself was born on earth. What a tale! Exclaimed Janamejaya. Yes, my king. The God of all beings was born in this very land. He sported with the people of this land. He slaughtered the demons that plagued this land. Now listen to his miraculous feats, said the Guru Vaishampayana.
I hope you liked today's episode of The House of Kuru. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel and like this video so that you will be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Thank you.